So here we have our tree base. So we've got the back here that goes onto there to hold the Dark Rider in. And then we've got this hole here for where the Hobbits are hiding. You can actually see a bit of a gap there in between the two, but your optimal viewing is there. You're not going to see it most of the time. If you want to fill it, feel free to fill it. Like I think I might have said previously, but I'm not fixing this into place. This is going to be removable to use the Nazgul for gameplay if required. Perhaps it will one day. Now, I've been contemplating this for a while. Leave that there for a second. And I saw a video from, what's her name? Louise Sugden, I think it is, on Rogue Hobbies, and she said a very good line, which was, trees are not brown, they are grey. And this is going to be true in this one as well. But if you look at a tree in real life, it's not brown, it's far from brown. So this is going to be far from brown as well. In fact, the paint that we're going to start with is going to be Inky by Darkness. We're going to go over all of the bark with that, get as much as we can. Even all the roots down here as well, these are all going to be brown, Inky by Darkness. We're going to leave the ground texture, the leaves, the mushroom, and the inside of the tree for the time being, although it might get a bit messy at the top here. But we're going to go round with Inky by Darkness. So, same process as normal. Get some on your brush, stick on your palette, thin it down a bit. We don't want this to obscure any details. We want this to flow into all the recesses. Might take a couple of coats. Be as neat as possible where we don't want it. At the same time, we're going to be dry brushing, so we're going to have to tidy up. So yes, thank you, Louise, for that remark. Never painted trees brown in my hobby career anyway, to be honest, but it's a very good statement to make. So that has taken 2 thin coats, maybe 3 to get good coverage on that, but we've got a nice good coverage of the Inky by Darkness now. What we're going to do is take some, make a kind of standard grey, and we are going to heavily dry brush this all over the trunk. Same way that we've done all the previous dry brushing. Take a nice big makeup brush, forgot what it was called now. Load up our brush, work it into the bristles, and then we are going to start down here, and we want to get a good coverage on this. It's a bit more of an overbrush than it is a dry brush at this stage. I want to basically cover it so it's just the Inky by Darkness in the deepest recesses. Again, there is no need to be delicate with this. We can go not hard, but we don't have to be careful with it trying to get it just in the tree trunk. Less is obviously more, so take your time, work your way around it, and do a little bit at a time. So now that the Mecha standard grey has gone on, we are going to take some graphite from AK. Codex Grey or Dawnstone would do the same job here. Similar sort of colours. I don't have them colours, so I've got this instead. Same process as before. We're going to load up our brush and we're going to dry brush over the Mecha standard grey. It's going to be a little bit lighter this time because we want some of the previous layer to shine through. Not shine, but show through. So we'll start off with a light dry brush and we can build up on that as we go. Still want pretty good coverage at this point. So now that we've done the graphite, we are going to take some Administratum Grey and we're going to do an even lighter dry brush of this. Same process as before, get a little bit on your brush, work it into your bristles. And it wants to be a very light dry brush this time because we don't want this to be too stark. So start off nice and gentle and we can build it up. Picking out that texture of the bark. So I have gone round with Grace here. I have tidied up the base. I've picked out the mushrooms. I've picked out all the ferns. I've got in the little cracks in between, all the rocks and whatnot. Even got inside of the exposed trunk there. So what I'm going to do now is take some Agros dunes and I'm going to get all the exposed part of the tree. Okay. Casting strange lights on me here from the light. Yeah, all the like this bit of the trunk up here. So carefully not to get it on any of the bark that we've already painted. Go around like that. Get all of that in there. We've got this little bit of an old knot here. I'm going to get that. Again, be careful not to get it on the bark. Got this bit broken branch here. And inside here as well. Load up my brush, small brush, so I can get in there. Load up my brush, and I'm going to get it in there where I can reach, and I'm going to push it down here as I can. Let it settle down there. And then I can bring it up here. Kind of just dab it in. And to the edges. Something like that. So now that's dried, I'm going to take some Garrigax sewer and we're going to hit all the earth substrate, all the ground cover. We're going to leave the mushrooms and the plants. We're going to go over the stones at this point. We're going to get in here as well. And yeah, we're going to do that. Take the Garrigax sewer. Load up the brush and it is simply just put it on at this point. Getting into the cracks and crevices. Tidied up with the grey sear. We don't want it on the mushrooms or the foliage at this point. Well, at any point we'll hit them with a different colour later. Obviously, whilst you've got the paint out, we can hit the bases of the Nazgul and the Hobbits, get them up to similar stages. So now we've gone over the whole of the base, cutting all them nooks and crannies under there and around this side. We've also gone round the base on the Hobbits. Also gone round the back a little bit on the edges just to make sure that that gap is seamless. And the base for the Nazgul is looking all the same standard. So what I'm going to do now is paint the ferns. We're going to take some plague bearer flesh and we're going to paint the ferns with this. Nice and simple. Load up the brush and just paint the leaves. Make sure you've got a good even undercoat of the grey sear before you start this. Try and keep it off everything else that you painted. Because this is quite a light colour, it won't matter too much, but it will tint the grey of the tree. So try and keep it off that. And just work your way around. I won't do that one just yet because it's still got a bit of the brown on there. So we come this way. That one's got brown on it too. Doing well at this. Let's get this one. Whilst we have the plague bearer flesh out, we're going to take some and just a small amount, and what we're going to do is we're going to weather up the bark a little bit, and this is going to be where water might gather, so like in here, and we're just going to go in the deepest recesses with it. Less is going to be more with this. Don't go crazy. Just tinting that bark a tiny bit here where it's all nooks and crannies. Bit of water on the brush, feather it out. So now they are dry. Yep, they're all dried out. What we're going to do is we're going to take some Creed camo and we're going to water this down. So get a little bit on your palette. Almost quite thin. So we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. Around 50-50 for that. And we want it. What we're going to do with this, brush again off our palette, and we are going to go into the deepest parts, and we're going to draw along the central part of the leaf, and then fan out the back end. So we will wick it away. So that's not done the right job. Clean that before I forget. Alright, we'll let that dry before we do anything else on it. Might be easier to do this one leaf at a time. A little bit stronger. Try it at that. Over here. But I can't escape another river, and I have to work tonight 'cause I'm late work. Hey, I want to run away and don't look back to a hiding place. I just want to free myself alive and never be the same girl. But I can't escape another river, and I have to work tonight 'cause I'm late work. Oh, that puddled out there. Also, while you got this on your palette, if you really wanted to, you could go around in the deepest parts of where you put the plague bearer flesh previously, and just give it a bit more of a variation. Kind of simulate moth growths. No, moss growth. Again, don't go crazy with that. So while that's drying, I managed to find a painting handle that will fit this for a start. We're going to take some more gas bone and we're going to use this to highlight the inside of the tree. Get a little bit on your brush. Oh, that's weird. I can't hold it properly now. And then we're just gonna carefully pick out select bits. We're not gonna do them all. Just little bits, just enough to catch them. For this bit, still feels weird in the hand. For this bit we are literally going to catch odd ones. We're not going to go around them all because we'll be here forever. Once the Xandri dust is dry, we can take some Guilliman flesh. And we're just going to go around each of them mushrooms and give them a wash of Guilliman flesh. Being careful to keep it on the mushrooms and not get any of the surrounding area. But remembering to get the stems as well where we can. Well, you've got the Xandri dust before, that's where we want this. Now, once your Guilliman flesh has dried on your mushrooms, take your Xandri dust again. Okay, Xandri dust. We're just going to re-highlight these mushrooms. So I will start on this one because it's a bit more pronounced. So you can see there's a bit of a ring around top, so we'll put a bit of a hat on the top, a blob on the top, and then just a bit of a ring around the edge, like that. That's it. On to the next one. So even where this isn't as pronounced, still do the same method. Now that is a very, very subtle dry brush. So, and it's very difficult to get into some of the places, so what we can do is some of the bits around here, we can take some of the steel lead drab and we can just highlight ever so slightly the prominent features. We don't want to get it onto the areas that we've already painted, so getting into these little recesses is very difficult with a dry brush. Just pick out the sharpest edges and bits like this where it's like gravel or dirt, just run it over the top ever so gently. It's an overbrush effect. So now we've gone around with the Steel Legion drab, we're going to take some Morghast bone, and what we are very, very carefully just going to do the same again, but just with the brush this time. We're not going to do it with a dry brush, we're just going to go around with a paintbrush and pick out all the sharpest features. So like here we got this bit here. You can see it's quite contrast. So we're literally gonna just dot and line the highest, sharpest bits. And this side is another good example. We've got these rocks here, so we can just go out very carefully like that. So now we've got a couple of good coats on the Fire Dragon Bright. On the carrot, we're going to take some Uriel Yellow and we're just going to highlight that just a bit. Take a little bit of this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do stripes across it. Just trying to find an angle where I can get at it. Something like that. It's very subtle. Not sure if you can see that, but it's very subtle. Doesn't need to be a lot. Put that away, and then we can come in straight away with the iodine yellow contrast and go straight over the top of that. Don't need a lot of this because it's already quite orange, so it's just gonna mark it back a tiny bit. Into my brush. Like that. So to finish off the carrot, there we go, focus. To finish off the carrot, we're going to take some Militarum green. Needs a good shake, so I'll shake that up and we'll give it a try. Get a little bit on your brush, and then we're just going to hit these stems of the carrot. If you don't have this colour, Creed Camo would work fine. There we are. Like that. Once you're happy with your highlights, and very subtle highlights, we are going to go around all the edges of the base, all the flat areas, all the bits down here, in between the tree roots there. We're going to take some Black Legion and we're just going to go around it all. This you want to be very careful. We don't want it on anything that we've already painted. So start with a smallish brush, size 1, size 0 I think, and we're just going to push it in there like that. up to the edges. Don't go over the edges, just up to the edges. Might take a couple of coats, but we want it nice and even, nice and flat. Again, don't go up to just up to the edges. So this is going to be very time consuming, labour intensive, but it'll be worthwhile. And while we're here, we can paint this bit as well, and the edge, if you so wish. Probably easier with a bigger brush for that bit, but smaller brush, just getting all around these details. When it comes to the inside here, I'm not going to paint that back bit, but this bit up here and up here I will, because this is going to be the joining line where the hobbits fit in the gap. Shouldn't see any of this, but just in case, we've got a nice dark shadow there. I'm not going to paint all the way down to the bottom, just up to the edge. So here we have the final piece, all put together, all nicely done. Quite pleased with how this one's come out. It's been a bit of a slog. The Nazgul I was very enthused to do and excited to do that. The base, I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, but the Hobbits, I just got a mental block with them. I couldn't complete them. They took a very long time. Not as in time to paint, but time to encourage myself to paint. I don't know why, but I just got a mental block on them and I couldn't bring myself to finish them. I had to force myself to do it. But I'm quite pleased with how they come out. I'm quite pleased with how the whole diorama comes together itself. It's come out very nicely. Let me know what you think in the comments. Feel free to give this video likes and shares and subscribes and all that jazz. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.